Hi everyone, my name's Bob and I thought I'd share some of my experiences when I had a cataract surgery last week. That's like 3 days ago. I know when I started to have the cataracts, and I was very apprehensive about having the surgery. And I'd done a lot of research online, of course, and the doctors were very nice. But it was still the thought of someone operating on my eye, which made me extremely anxious. And, to cut to the chase, it wasn't all that bad at all. And I thought it would be nice to let everyone know that as to what to expect. So I have cataracts in both eyes. And when I went to the ophthalmic doctor, and so we decided, to operate on the right eye first. And you have a choice of what kind of lens you can have inserted. And essentially, this could be long distance, it could be reading, short distance, or it could be a mixture of the both. You can also have more up-to-date lenses, which will do like sort of variable focus. But I decided not to do that. And, obviously there's a cost involved. I think it was about an extra $3,000, no, more, $5,000 to actually do that. The other choice you have to make is whether you want conventional surgery, that's with essentially a knife, or whether you want to have a laser assisted, which essentially they do the mechanical parts with the laser, but you still have to have an incision to have the lens inserted. For myself, I thought it would be better to have the lens suited to long distance vision. And the reason for that is ever since I was 11 years old, I've worn glasses. And I thought it would be neat, to not have to have them. For example, when I go swimming, or that's always there was an issue when you're on the beach and you go for a swim, and then of course you can't have your glasses on, and you come out and you can't see anything. As an example, for myself, anything beyond that sort of distance for me was blurred. So I had really bad short-sightedness. So I decided to go for the long distance lens and the conventional monofocus one. If you want the laser assisted, that's an extra $1,500 per eye. I have no problem paying $1,500, but again, my research showed that there wasn't an awful lot of difference between one method and the other as regards success or any trauma. So I thought, let's go for the conventional. So what happens? So approximately 3 days before, you're given 3 different eye drops, essentially a steroid, an anti-inflammatory, and an antibiotic. And you have to take these 3 times a day. Sorry, 4 times a day. And you have to wait 4 to 5 minutes in between each application. So again, whenever you have the drops, usually for me it was morning, lunchtime, dinner time, and then before going to bed. And so you put 1 drop in, I set the timer on the iPhone for 4 minutes, come back, the alarm goes off, you put the next one in, the next one in, the next one in. So be prepared to spend a good sort of 15 minutes or so 4 times a day in getting this done. But again, it's not a big deal. Then on the day of the operation itself, no food after midnight. My appointment was at 7:45. So again, that's no big deal. What was a big deal is you can't have anything to drink as well in the morning, other than a sip of water to take any tablets you might need to take. So I was very thirsty by the time it was all finished. So what happens then? You get to the office, you fill out all the paperwork, and then you get called in and you go to another room, and there you have a series of around 9 different eye drops for a whole different set of purposes, mainly to make your pupil expand, to get it as wide as possible. And that takes about probably 45 minutes or so to go through that. Then we had to wait because the doctor had a difficult operation first off, so everything was delayed throughout the day, but I can't hold that against it. But then you come into the pre-op situation, and of course you have a gown, you have a hat on, and you have to cover your hair. Then your blood pressure, your heart, you've got pads on your arms, and then you have an IV inserted to inject the anaesthetic, anti-anxiety medicine, or whatever you want to do. Now, my concern was, would I be conscious in all this? Would I remember anything bad or whatever? But as you see, it wasn't all that bad at all. So anyway, so you wait there, and then you're called into the operating room. You walk in. It's a bit like a dentist chair, so you sit down on that. Then they administer the IV, and then the rest of it, I can barely remember. The only thing I remember is having two sort of bright lights in my eye. Other than that, I didn't feel a thing, no pain, no nothing. And then next thing you know, they stop the IV, and you sit up, and they put you in a wheelchair, and you go out, check you're okay. 15 minutes later, they give you a drink. 15 minutes later, you're out. Now, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know whether, like, on the drive home, obviously my wife was driving, whether you would see sort of miraculously, but it was all pretty cloudy and nothing, not an awful lot to see, and but there was no pain, and I got home, and you have to wear an eye shield for about 6 to 8 hours. It just to stop anything sort of going in your eye. So I took that. I haven't got it with me, but it's it's like a transparent tube disc that fits over your eye, and then you have to wear that for 3 nights following. It's attached with sticky tape to your head. I presume to stop the pillows or the bedclothes sort of going in your eye, and you've got to be careful about not getting water in your eye when you're getting washed or having a shower, and you can't go swimming, of course, or have any sort of hot tubs and things. But again, that's not a big deal. So during that evening, the afternoon, the evening, my vision was very, very cloudy, and I couldn't see things properly. But then the next day, when I woke up, it wasn't nearly so cloudy. And amazingly enough, I could see in the distance way better than I've ever done since probably I was a child, which was a really nice thing. Still not perfect, but then you have to go back for a post-op visit. In my case, it was at 9 o'clock, I think it was, next morning, 9 or 10 o'clock. This was 2 days ago. And the doctor, checks things, checks everything's in place, checks your vision. And it's interesting, with me, when I was looking at the eye chart, I could see the letters fine, and then up to the left of them, there was like a ghost image, and apparently this was due to the cornea and the milkiness and things inside it, and sort of light sort of bouncing around. But I was told that would go, and it did. And it was a bit sort of difficult to see, but then she put a pinhole in front of the eye, and everything was perfect. And then the vision got better and better during the day. So I had a pretty bad vision on in my eye. So when I put my regular glasses back on, of course, the lens was very powerful, so I couldn't see anything. So what could I do? So luckily it was pretty easy for me. So these are just these are held in by a piece of nylon. So I just got a piece of fishing line and popped out the lens. So now I'm using my original lens in my left eye, which hasn't been operated on yet, and for the right eye, it doesn't have a lens. Besides looking a bit weird, it works perfectly. I'm driving around, I can see everything. I'm looking at the window now, and I can see the leaves and trees. I mean, it's absolutely amazing what happened. And then I'm still putting the drops in. Oh yes, for me, she measured the pressure in my eye, and it was a bit elevated. I'm told that's not abnormal, but just to make sure, she prescribed another drop to take 3 times a day. So now I'm taking 4 drops in the morning, 4 drops at lunchtime, 3 drops around dinner time, and then 4 drops while I go to bed. And I can put them in myself, but it's much easier if my wife does it for me. But we got it off to a fine art now. So to summarize all of that, it's well worth doing. Don't be scared, don't be apprehensive. It works really well. You get the results within a couple of days. You don't expect miracles that first day, but certainly the second day and the third day, it'll be fantastic. And I hope it goes well with you. I'm going to wait another month, like so 30 days, 4 weeks before the left eye gets operated on, and I'm sure that will go the same way. Oh, one more thing. I wear glasses for the computer, and actually what I done there is I went to Walmart and I bought a pair of $5 reading glasses. These are 1.5 diopter. This time I popped out the left lens, and then on my computer glasses I popped out the right lens, and this looks weird, but if I put these on and I put these on, I can see and read and happily work on the computer for hours with no problem whatsoever. So that's another tip for six bucks. So when all this is finished, I'll be, I'm told, probably the week after the second eye's been operated upon, then I'll get a new prescription. Now, I might need glasses for distance because I have some astigmatism, but frankly I can't notice anything with it, so it's quite possible I might not need glasses at all for long distance, but I will need them for close distance, because of course the lens in my eye is set for your distance viewing. So I'll probably get some kind of a progressive lens, so when I look down I can read okay, and when I look up, of course, it'll be for distance viewing. But frankly, it doesn't bother me for not wearing glasses, but it is nice to know actually that I don't actually have to wear them for long distance. And that's about it. So if you've got any questions, just pop them in the comments. But again, I thought I'd like to share. Enjoy.